And Canadians right across the country will be converging in Ottawa this week to take part in shaping policy regarding free speech online and the spread of online disinformation. For a closer look at what could be in store, we're joined by Taylor Owen, the co-chair of the Canadian Commission on Democratic Expression. Taylor, great to have you with us this morning. So tell us why you wanted to get involved with this.
Well, look, I've been studying the internet for 20 years, and for most of that time, we've left it largely unregulated. And one of the costs of that has been a series of harms to our democracy, to our public health, to the safety and well-being of our communities. And those, I think, citizens across the country are increasingly demanding that governments do something about that. So I've been working both with this Commission on Democratic Expression and with this Citizens Assembly that's convening this week to think through what that might look like.
And I believe you're all heading to Ottawa on Sunday. It's going to be a 5-day event. What exactly are you proposing in this legislation?
So what the Commission has proposed, and the Citizens Assembly is now reviewing, is a strategy that's a little bit different than what the government put forward last year. Last year, they said, look, there's a lot of bad things on the internet, whether it's disinformation or harmful speech, and governments should have to, or platforms should have to take it down very quickly after it is out in the world. What we're proposing is a different approach, that instead of trying to get like sort of whack-a-mole with bad content, which runs into a host of free speech issues, we think we should focus on the system itself, on the underlying incentives of the platforms, the financial incentives that lead this content to be amplified to a much wider range of people than it should be. So we want these platforms more transparent so we can all see how they're functioning, we can all look under the hood, and we want them to have a responsibility to act more responsibly in the way they curate and design our digital conversation.
Okay, so it's really touching on the platforms rather than tackling individual freedom rights, because I was just going to get into that. It's kind of a fine line, right? Breaking down what is free speech and democratic versus what is disinformation or hate speech, because someone might say, hey, it's my right to spew hate. That's my right to expression. So how do you square that?
Well, we don't need to in Canada because it's not actually your right to spread hate speech. The Charter both protects our right for free speech, but also protects our right to not be harmed by speech. So hate speech is illegal, and the Charter protects us broadly from being harmed by the speech of others. So there are reasonable limits we place on speech already in the non-digital world. Some of that just needs to be extended online. The best way to do that, though, I think, is to put the responsibility on the platforms to clean up their act, not for government agencies to decide what can and can't be said.
Right. And very quickly, Taylor, what specific platforms do you think is most vulnerable to this?
Well, I think the platforms that will need to abide by these kinds of regulations are the large platforms that mediate most of our speech. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, the big social platforms that sit at the center of our new communication ecosystem.
All right. Taylor Owen, good luck this weekend. Appreciate your time this morning. Take care.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.